Okay, everybody, let's knock out a few questions off the 11-6 homework. This isn't really all that bad of a section, guys. There's two formulas that we need to know, but the nice thing about these two formulas, they both deal with spheres, and spheres are cool because they really only have one piece of information that you need to know in order to know everything there is to know about that sphere, and that is its radius. So as we take a look at number one, our directions tell us we're supposed to find the surface area of each figure. So to find the surface area of a sphere, the formula that was in our notes right here, surface area of a sphere is going to be 4 pi r squared. Okay, so step 2, let's fill in what we know. Unlike just about every formula we've seen so far, there is only one variable here in this formula, 4 times pi, and we need to know our radius and square that. Well, this one was pretty straightforward. The radius of a sphere goes from the center straight out to any point that's on the sphere, and they usually drew it that way, and here they gave us a radius of just 1 centimeter. So this is actually going to be a really quick and easy problem here. Surface area is going to be, okay, let's get order of operations right. 1 centimeter is going to get squared. Well, 1 squared is 1 times 4 is 4. We leave our answer in terms of pi, and then the units, centimeters for the radius, got squared to make square centimeters for the units here. So that's about as easy as they come, everybody. With a radius of 1, that surface area is going to be 4 pi square centimeters. Number 4 is another surface area problem here. So it doesn't start off any different, really. Surface area of a sphere is again going to equal 4 pi r squared. And step 2, let's fill in what we know. Surface area is going to be 4 times pi, and the only thing tricky about these few problems right here, now you'll notice that what they gave you, the 14 miles, was not a radius, but a diameter of this sphere. If your diameter is 14 miles, then your radius is always found by just taking half of that. So the radius here is going to be 7 miles, and that's what needed to go right here. Now, if you're going to do this in your calculator here, no reason you couldn't, you just need to remember here to leave the pi out, and we have to just do our order of operations, but the calculator really will do that for us. So I'm going to multiply. Oh, nuts, I got to do all this again. Hang on, I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do that. All right, gotcha. So I wanted to multiply 4 times 7 squared, and that's it, guys. The 196 tags right along there. So we got a 196. Just stick the pi at the end, and the only units we had to worry about were miles, which get squared to make square miles, and that's it for problem number 4. So as I said, this is not a very hard section, especially with the very straightforward problems they gave us here. Number 7, we're supposed to find volume now, so we need a new formula in order to do this. So the formula here for volume of a sphere, this formula is more complicated. This is going to be a 4/3 multiplied by pi times your radius cubed. And I should point out here something that's kind of cool here, guys. The units here are not an accident. When we're talking about surface area, we're talking area, and most of you know by this point that for area, you're going to end up with square units. The reason that works is because in the surface area formula, we end up taking the radius squared. Squaring a radius is what gets us square centimeters. Well, here we're talking in number 7 about volume. And our units here, since we're talking about miles, our units for volume are going to end up being cubic miles. And the only way to get cubic miles is to take your radius to the, you got it, to the 3rd power. So you should be able to remember that the surface area formula has an r squared. That's how you get square units. And the volume formula has an r cubed. That's how we end up with cubic units. Okay, but back to it. Let's fill in what we know in step 2. Volume now is going to equal 4/3 times pi times the radius, which was given to us as 9 miles, and that radius is going to get cubed. And I would think that just about all of us right now would go to our calculators. Again, I'm going to leave out the pi and just do 4/3 times 9 cubed. Now listen, everybody's calculator is a little bit different. For me, I'm going to hit my fraction button and do a 4 on the top and then a 3 on the bottom. Remember, you can't do that one as a decimal. You got to put it in that way. So the 4/3 is going to get multiplied by 9 to the 3rd power. And for me, I've got this little A to the B button right over here on the left. I think I should have typed my base in first. So 4. Then I'll hit that button right there and get 4 to the 3rd power. You could type in times 4 times 4 times 4. And that would be a little bit lame, but there you go. You know what? That was actually a 9. I just realized. I goofed that up. So that should have been a 4/3 times 9 to the 3rd power. There we go. And we end up with 972 for our answer. 972. And then since I didn't type the pi in, I just stick that on the end here. The reason that one worked out to be a whole number, at least the coefficient, is because 9 is evenly divisible by 3. If that was a number like 10 or 11 or 8, it wouldn't have worked out nicely. Miles get cubed, and that's how we end up with cubic miles, kind of like we said, for our answer. So that's the way that formula works. Yeah. Not too bad. And then I'll do one last one with you, number 9. So again, we're looking for volume of a sphere here. So formula, volume of a sphere is once again equal to 4/3 times pi times your radius to the 3rd power. Okay, volume is now going to be 4/3 times pi. Now again, the only tricky thing here is they gave you this measurement all the way across, so your diameter here is 16 kilometers. That means that your radius is going to be half of that, and that's going to be 8 kilometers. So 8 kilometers is going to go right here. That's going to get cubed, and that is really all we have to do. Now, as I was just saying on the last problem here, we did not get lucky. 8 is not a multiple of 3, 3 being the denominator. So this one I know right now is going to work out as a decimal. So we're going to do 4/3. And as I said earlier, guys, if you don't have a fraction key, 4/3 is just 4 divided by 3. Actually, boy, my calculator even shows that as a fraction, even if that's what I hit. Times our radius was 8, and we want to take that to the 3rd power. And like I said, this one didn't work out nicely. Direction said round to the nearest hundredth, I believe, so that's going to be a 682.67. 682.67. Stick the pi on there, and there we go. And kilometers got cubed, and that is going to get us cubic kilometers for the units right here. All right, guys, that's 4 problems. I think I only gave you 12 on this whole worksheet because it gets pretty repetitive, and I think you guys are going to get it pretty fast. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.